What does success look like for your business in the next 90 days? Not hers, yours. What does success look like? And a lot of times what I see is people think success has to be this really big thing. It has to be this, I reached 100,000 subscribers. Girl, if you just start now on YouTube and in the next 90 days you reach 100 subscribers, baby, that is success. It's 100 more than you had. It's success. Define what your success criteria looks like, no matter how big or small. It could be just getting up and posting once a week. Okay, it could be, girl, I was consistent for 90 days. Let's get out of the habit of thinking, I guess they're called like vanity metrics, but let's get out of the habit of thinking we have to do these big things. Hello to all my homegirls out there. Welcome back to Conversations with the Courageous Christian Homegirl. I am your host, Whitney, and I am so glad you are tuning in today. If you're new here, thank you. If you're not new here, thank y'all too for rocking with me, okay? So today we are going to get into something that I know a lot of you have been feeling, but may not have actually had the words for it yet. But before I get into today's episode, I want to remind you that if you are ready to stop spinning your wheels and get some real clarity around this piece on your business, honey, on your purpose, your ministry, you can book a clarity and strategy call with me at www.justwit.com. It is only 90 minutes, y'all, but in that 90 minutes, we're going to get you up, focused, and moving. The link will actually be in the show notes, okay? So raise your hand, unless you're driving, if you have ever opened up Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any other social media platform and ended up doom scrolling, child. I mean doom scrolling, or just ended up deep into somebody else's business. You done went down a rabbit hole. Now you over here wondering why your stuff don't look like that. Child, I have done it too. Okay, I am guilty. So if I'm saying I'm guilty, please don't leave me hanging. And so here's what we tell ourselves when that happens. We often say things like, I just need more discipline. I need time management. I need to be more consistent. I need to work harder. But what if that is actually not the thing that you really need? Just what if, hear me out, if comparison is not actually a discipline problem, but a clarity problem. I know. Y'all probably like, girl, please get out of my business. I'm about to cut you off, but please don't cut me off. Hear me out. I've noticed when I talk to other women that are in business, when I just see things, I've experienced some things myself where I've noticed that people start to imitate, mimic, whatever, me. And I'm like, that's because you don't know what you're doing. Okay. So you over here trying to do what I'm doing, but you don't know what you're doing. But the gag is, baby, I ain't know what I was doing either. So it's like the blind leading the blind at this point. You just following along while I'm trying to figure it out. But that's neither here nor there. But I do know that when you actually get clear on your assignment, on what you're building, what God has you doing, your purpose, all of those things, comparison actually loses its power. It just kind of goes away because you kind of, you're in your own lane. And I love that because I feel like in business, when I first started out, at least with my makeup business that I had, which is now closed. So don't go asking me. I'm like, girl, I ain't know because it's closed. But I did mimic a lot of people. I did not copy, but I was looking to other people who had been in business for years, probably, or whatever. But I'm like, dang, I want to do it like this. I want to do it like that. But as I've matured in business, I am learning that the learning never stops. The growth never stops. You're always tweaking something. You're always like, oh, I could do this better. And the longer you stick with it, you'll start to, see things like, okay, yeah, or whatever. But when you are looking at everybody else, your vision actually gets a little foggy, get a little fuzzy, okay? And so you start to be like, I'm kind of not sure about what I'm doing. Is this actually what I should be doing? Or are you looking around like, well, mine don't look like that and they got the audience like that? Or sometimes you're like, well, we doing the same thing. Why is their audience bigger than mine? Or, what is it like? That is when it just really gets dangerous, okay? It gets so dangerous. And that is when, like God's strategy and your strategy, you get a little conflict. And we know that The Lord is not the author of confusion. And so whenever you have this comparison issue or challenge, when it's like really, really loud to the point where you're no longer even hearing God, you're just focused on the metrics or what, so and so is doing over there, your clarity is very low. Trust me, been there, seen it, okay? And it's not that it's a character flaw, that something is wrong with you. It just happens when we do not have a clear enough picture of our own lane. And that's it's okay too, because that's why I'm here to serve you. And I noticed that it does happen. At least for me, it happened when I was in a season of pivoting, when I had first started out. You just start looking and you're following people, and you listen, it happens to all of us. And you can't sit here and tell me that it has not happened to you. The thought hasn't crossed your mind. Okay. So I actually want to break this down, 3 ways that this actually, in 3 ways that this actually shows up, because I want you to recognize yourself, and in here somewhere. Okay. And then we gonna get to it. So, the first way is you may compare your calling to someone else's calling. Have you ever done that? So you'll see someone doing something similar, like I was just saying, similar to what you do, and you start wondering if you should be doing it that way too. Maybe that person has a course and you have, a product or a service, right? Of course, it's a service, but y'all get what I'm saying. Maybe she does YouTube shorts every day, reels every day, and you don't. Maybe she has a prayer call once a week, twice a week, and you don't. And instead of actually trusting what God told you to build, you start reshaping your purpose, your ministry, your business, whatever that thing is, to look like hers, whoever that her is to you. Here's the truth. God did not call you to build her business. He called you to build your business. And the details of your assignment are specific to you for a reason. I'm telling y'all, the sooner that you grasp that, it's going to change your life. Trust me, because I'm straight telling y'all, when I first started in my I don't know, I'm going to say group coaching. Lord, no, not group coaching. In my business, in my community, that's what it is, in my community. I definitely was looking at everybody else's community, and I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses, child. I'm like, oh, well, they got this person, that person. Maybe I need that person. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Just doing too much when the Lord didn't even have me doing all that. And I honestly think for the communities that I have, I don't even know if it would be beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a mess, and I was really stressing myself out. And I just said, you know what? I need to do this the way that the Lord is telling me to do. Okay. So that was number one. Number two, comparing your timeline to someone else's timeline. Now, this right here is sneaky. Okay. Because it sounds like, oh, I just want to grow. But what it actually is looking at how fast whoever she is got there, and you decided that your pace may mean like, oh, something is wrong with you, right? And timelines can extend far beyond just in business and ministry. I mean, in life too. You may be like, well, I'm 40 and I don't have any kids, or I don't have a house, or I'm not married. And you just really start comparing yourself, and you really start feeling like, well, what's wrong with me? Baby, it might not be your timing. Nothing is wrong with you. God's timing for your business, for your ministry, for that job that you want, for you even being in a corporate job, like whatever it is, God's timing is for you, and you only whatever that pertains to. So your plan has a specific timeline, and it is yours. It's not hers. It's not that person over there. It is yours. Stop comparing, because here's what I also know is that that person may be on day 50 and you're on day 1. They had to start at day 1 as well. And they were just, they could have potentially had just come out of your shoes. So it's like we all start somewhere. And I really admire business owners that take us on that journey, because a lot of times you just see when that person pops up. You just see when they done went viral, and you're like, oh my God, but you don't realize that they've been trying to, get their business together for the last 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is, or it took them, so long, like you don't know. So we just have to be extra careful with other people's timeline. So that's really what I want you to think about, that your one, is your one, and that person's 50 is not your one, and vice versa. Okay. Hope y'all caught that. Let me tell y'all a little commercial break here, child. I tell the people when I'm recording, meaning my husband, and he done went to the store. Lord have mercy. And now he asking me questions. Sir, should have did that before you left. I'm like, I don't know, I'm recording. Married life. Okay, back to a little commercial break. Number 3, comparing your behind the scenes to that person's like highlight reel, that polished version, right? So you're looking at somebody's polished version of their business and you're comparing it to you just starting. Like, you looking at this person's website and you're like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Like, her pictures are gorgeous. This. And you're like, I want this. But you just started. You don't know how many rebrands that person done went through. I mean, you just don't. Again, you're just starting. And I get that we want to look to people for inspiration and everything. But I think sometimes if you're not in a certain like headspace or mindset, it will trigger you. And that's when comparison really happens. And it's never going to be a fair comparison because you haven't seen, again, that person's hard days. You haven't seen what she has cried about. You haven't seen how she's been fasting every day for the last, 90 days, 120 days. You're just seeing what that person is choosing to post. And I want us to all remember that we only see what people want us to see sometimes. Sometimes we see things against our will. And I'm like, baby, take me out the group chat. I was so tired of hearing about Blueface and what's that baby name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Crystal, what's her name, y'all? Child, I don't even remember the child name. And I'm kind of glad because it was a lot, okay? Sometimes people only show us what they want us to see. So they're not going to give you the real deal. They're not going to say this happened, that happened. They just going to show you a glow up, okay? So let's go to the Bible. We're going to go to, let's see, Galatians 6. I probably should have already had this up, but y'all bear with me because while I'm turning, y'all going to be turning. Galatians 6 and 4. I'm going to read from the NLT. It says, pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get satisfaction of a job well done. That is so true. When you pay attention to your own work, you stay in your own lane, you become very proud of it, okay? You get a little upset when people start copying you, okay? It moves on to say, and you won't need to compare yourselves to anyone else. Verse 5 says, for we are each responsible for our own conduct. Okay. And so I love that because pay attention to your own work. Not hers, not his, yours. The satisfaction that you're looking for, that void that you're trying to feel, the feeling of, am I doing it right? Is it working? It comes from staying focused on your assignment, whatever God told you to do. If you're doing what God told you to do, baby, you're doing it right. I could stop right here because that's obedience. It is not measuring your progress against somebody else's. Whew, child. And listen, speaking of getting clear on your work, I got to tell you something real quick. Okay, we doing a lot of commercial breaks today, okay? And this one thing, let me say this one investment has completely changed how I show up in my business. And that is actually working with my podcast coach, okay? Andrea Singletary, okay? And I'm not just like really saying that. No, I've had podcasts before. You that know me know more than once I had started and I stopped because I got a little like, what am I talking about on here? Or the momentum it just stopped. Or I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so when I actually started working with her, she helped me get clear on what I was building. And that is really, why I stopped caring about what everybody else was doing, because what everybody else was doing was not working for me. But she forced me to focus on my own assignment, y'all. She forced me to understand my own assignment. She held my hand through the whole process and she's still holding my hand. Shout out to you. Even though our time is almost up, I was like, girl, we not going nowhere because I still got many more episodes to push out. Okay. Step by step, y'all. She gave me feedback on my recording. She gave me feedback on just different things, even my podcast cover. And I was like, dang, I wasn't really expecting that, but it's all part of her program. And she pushes me. She encourages me. She has all of the tools that I need to really make this podcast successful. And on top of that, her being a Christian podcast coach means a lot to me. Number one, because I prayed and I asked God to send me Christian helpers in my business. And so it just goes to show that God is in the details. He listens, He understands, He knows what we need, He knows what's, good for us. And it just feels good that I can literally tell her, hey, I'm struggling today, or, whatever it is. And she's like, I'm going to pray for you. That's the real tea. And so she's actually doing a push for her evergreen marketing accelerator before she goes on maternity leave. And the doors are going to close April 1st. Okay. So let me tell y'all what y'all get. So okay. Cause you probably like, oh girl, I need that. If you are thinking about starting a podcast, if you have a podcast, like straight up invest in yourself. The fruit is there. Like this is the first time that I've actually gotten feedback from listeners. When did I launch this? I don't even know what episode we're on. We're under 10 episodes. Okay. Under 10 episodes. Let me say that. And I've already had over 100 downloads. I looked at my stats and I was like, who, me? Like, what? I'm blown away. And that's why I want you all to know about her. Okay. So you'll get 2 private one-on-one calls. You'll get Voxer support. You'll get a podcast audit, a launch plan, episode feedback, all the things that I told you, a 90-day custom strategy. Plus, she has a bonus, and it's a Pinterest setup bonus, and it's worth $347. So if you join before April 1st, you'll get that. Okay. So if you've really been thinking about starting a podcast, you already have a podcast, and you're like, girl, I need help. Listen, check her out. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. I need y'all to tap in with my sis. Straight up. And one thing about me is I don't really recommend a lot of people because sometimes these business owners' integrity be whack. Okay. But if I recommend somebody, it's real. It's real. Okay. Now, if you are going to work with her, do not embarrass me. Okay. If you know you got some issues, don't go stressing mama out over there. Okay. Just wait. But if you got some sense, okay, the good sense that the Lord gave you, go ahead and check her out. Pray on it. She was actually recommended to me by my homegirl, Kay. And I knew when Kay recommended her that it was going to be T, I was like, oh, girl. And so I'm telling y'all, she is the real deal. Okay, so go ahead and check her out. Link will be in the show notes. All right. So I bet you like, okay, girl, you done told us all this, but how do we fix comparison? Clarity. I want you to ask yourself 3 questions this week. First, what is my specific assignment right now? Right now. See, I'm going to throw my project manager hat in the ring for a little second. What I see a lot of time in businesses is that everybody has all these big ideas. You want to execute them right away. No, ma'am. Right now. That's what I tell people right now. You need clarity. I understand you want to do all of these things, but what is the assignment right now? I mean, I do this every day in business. Okay, we got to get to the end, but how do we get there, right? What is the assignment right now? Not what I want it to eventually be. What is it right now? Second, who is the specific person God called me to serve? Get specific. I love my homegirls. God called me to serve the homegirls. He called me to serve the women who are like me. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. I be telling y'all no shade, no tea, but baby, I'm glad he didn't give me the stuffy saints because y'all need a little too uptight for me. He gave me the homegirls, literally the girls that can key. I was actually on a prayer call Saturday morning and we were talking about just stuff like animals, and we had a good laugh, and just home life and all the things. And then we prayed. I love that. I love being called to the Christian millennial, the elder millennial, okay? Because I'm an elder millennial at this point. Woman, the aunties. I love being called to the woman that will get in her prayer closet and battle and fast with you, but still have a good key with you. Will still be like, girl, did you see the housewives? Girl, did you? I love that. I love being called to the homegirls that, they just homegirls. Like if you're listening to this, you're a homegirl, and you're a homegirl when you click with me. That's all I gotta say. Okay. So who has God called you to? Get really specific on that. I know. And let me tell y'all, I thought I knew. I thought it was clear until maybe like a month and a half-ish ago. Like the Lord added something else. I was like, yeah. Like, yes, I am called to that particular woman. And I love it. I love y'all homegirls. Shout out to the homegirls out there. If you're not a homegirl, it's okay. You can still, rock with me. But I'm telling you, come over here with that stuffy saint stuff. I'm just gonna move you right along, okay? Okay, what does success look like for your business in the next 90 days? Not hers, yours. What does success look like? And a lot of times what I see is people think success has to be this really big thing. It has to be this, reached 100,000 subscribers. Girl, if you just start now on YouTube and in the next 90 days you reach 100 subscribers, baby, that is success. It's 100 more than you had. It's success. Define what your success criteria looks like, no matter how big or small. It could be just getting up and posting once a week. Okay. It could be, girl, I was consistent for 90 days. Let's get out of the habit of thinking, I guess they're called like vanity metrics, but let's get out of the habit of thinking we have to do these big things. I was actually talking to one of my homegirls Friday. I think it was Friday. And if she's listening, she's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But we were talking about the Lord placing it on her heart to do a conference. And I looked at her. We had just finished wrapping up a YouTube episode. And I looked at her and I was like, girl, now we just talked about this on the episode. And you sitting here telling me, I'm like, if the Lord called you to do the conference, do it. It doesn't have to be 100,000 people, 100 people. He may just want you to have 50 people in the room, 20 people, 10 people. Ask him. We get so caught up in wanting to make this big impact. And I'm here for the big impact. But sometimes the Lord just needs you to reach 5 women. Why we got to go over the Lord's head? I think I had told a story about how the Lord had placed it on my heart to sow into somebody, and the number was so low. I was so confused. I'm like, well, maybe I need to give a little bit more because that don't even sound right. Like, is that even enough? It's crazy that I was how prideful of me to go over the Lord's head and be like, that's not enough when it was the perfect amount. And he gave it back to me. So we have to stop thinking that we have to do all of these grand things when you're doing it for the Lord. It's already grand. If he said to host Bible study and only 5 people show up, okay, I actually got a word that said I'm an audience of 1. I was like, bet. Listen, if only one person if only one person shows up, I'm still going to do what God called me to do. Okay. So what does success look like for you? And when you can answer those questions clearly, your comparison will start to quiet down. In one of Liam's books, it's called like Finn's Fib. I think I talked about this before somewhere. And as soon as Finn stops fibbing, the little bubbles, they're like little balloons, they start to pop. And this is exactly the same thing. Comparison quiets down because you are not wondering what your lane looks like anymore because you're in it, baby. You in your purpose and it feels good. Like y'all don't know how good it feels when the Lord gives me something because see, I can't get clarity without the Lord. I have to seek his face. I have to get with him. And here's the thing. I know some of you are like, well, I don't need a coach or I don't need this or that. Y'all do realize that the Lord will send people to help you, right? It's not always just about you hearing from the Lord. It might be you partnering with that coach. You have to invest in yourself. You might have to spend a little, in the words of my mama, the duckies. The Lord may send you a coach. Like that is exactly what happened to me with Andrea and Kay. The Lord sent them literally praying. Like, okay, Lord, this. The Lord sent, the Lord sent it. We can't do it yourself. Was it everything? And some people are graced and blessed to do it, but it's okay to outsource. It's okay to be like, Lord, send me help. Okay. Lord, make a way so that I can invest in myself. Like we as Christian entrepreneurs, business owners, 9 to 5 corporate people, whatever, it's okay to invest in yourself. I literally paid for a membership for the Project Management Institute. And did I want to do it? Absolutely not. I was like, I don't want to do this. But did I do it? Yes, because it's okay to invest in myself, to get help. It is okay. And so if you're actually sitting here like, girl, that hit home, like you just, bop me, and you're realizing that comparison has been louder than clarity, the first step is to ask yourself them questions. The second step is to book your session with me. Of course, y'all knew I was going to say that. Actually going to put the link in the show notes, okay? Or you can just, after you listen to this, you can go to my website, www.justwit.com, and book your session. I want to get you out of that comparison trap. I want to get you back in your own lane because your own lane is perfect. Okay. Woo, yeah. Thank y'all so much for being here with me today. If this episode blessed you, make sure you share it with another homegirl who has been comparing herself to everyone else online. She needs this. I will see you. I will see you next week. Okay. With another episode. And I got my dates and timelines mixed up. So next week really is the end of Q1. And I do have something special for y'all. So please be sure to tune in wherever you're listening, watching. And yeah, we gonna get into this. Also, do me a favor, leave me a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. Tag me on Instagram, tag me wherever you find me. Send me an email. Listen, it helps me. Y'all don't know how happy I have been feeling seeing y'all's feedback, seeing y'all's reposts and all the things. Like, it just makes me feel really good. And it just really lets me know that I'm doing what God has called me to do. I mean, even if y'all don't see me review or whatever, I still know that I'm operating in what God has called me in. This feels different. I told my homegirl, I said, this feels different. This time feels different. Okay. So I'm about to get up out of here because hubby is making some nachos, y'all. I told you I was complaining about him earlier in the episode, child, with the grocery store. But he is making nachos, and I'm glad because that means I don't have to cook. I love my life. But no, seriously, y'all, I will talk to y'all later because these allergies are starting to kick my butt, and my voice is like, girl, stop talking. I've been talking for almost 30 minutes, and that was not on my bingo card for today. This was supposed to be a 15-minute episode, and that turned into double that because I had something to say. So, okay, y'all know what y'all got to do. Bye, y'all. Hey, homegirl, before you go, one last thing. If this episode made you realize you need space to process your faith and not just think about it, I want to invite you to my monthly Chat and Chill Bible study. It's held on the first Saturday where we come together, unpack scripture, talk through real life, and encourage one another. You can join on YouTube or you can join the Zoom as well. And you can grab your spot by heading to my website. Everything is going to be linked in the show notes. I hope to see you at Chat and Chill.